everyone! Welcome back to Story Hive. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Let's jump into today's story. My wife just announced she's pregnant, but she has no idea that I'm infertile and can't have kids. I recently discovered that my wife, Devin, was having an affair with my best friend, Jeff. I found this out because she's pregnant. You might ask, but if she's pregnant, how do you know? Well, I got a vasectomy in my previous marriage. Some of you might be thinking, oh, you can still get pregnant with a vasectomy. Don't come at me with that. There's a less than 1 chance that I got her pregnant, and we've taken tests. For some context, my best friend, Jeff, recently went through a divorce earlier this year. I grew up with this guy since grade school. We're basically brothers. We were both the best men at each other's weddings, went to college together, and ended up on the police force together. I first got married when I was 20. My ex-wife Trish and I were high school sweethearts. I was the small-town hockey star everyone knew was going somewhere. She was the smart, cute, funny pastor's daughter who everyone loved. We ended up having our daughter when we were 21 and our son when we were 24, but we had a miscarriage in between. After my son, we decided we didn't want any more children, so I got a vasectomy without telling anyone. My ex-wife and I ended up drifting apart but separated amicably. We still fully supported each other, and we are great friends. Devin and Trish were on good terms, even going out together without me. This brings me to Jeff and his wife Amy. We all spent a lot of time together doing friendsgiving and camping. When Jeff said he was getting a divorce, it hit our friend group hard, and we tried our best to support him. Amy said she would take the kids to Ontario to be with her parents, and Jeff was devastated. During this time, Jeff leaned on us, and when he needed a place to stay, we let him move in. What was supposed to be a short stay turned into longer than we would have liked. Devin suggested renovating the garage into a suite, and Jeff helped out. It was better than him staying in our house. At least he had his own space. Devin works as a hair stylist now, and we met a few months after my divorce from Trish. She's 8 years older than I am, said she didn't want any kids, and was really fun. We hit it off well and ended up having a small backyard wedding. After we got married, Jeff was staying with us. We worked together but had different shifts, so often Devin and Jeff were home together alone. At first I thought it was just Devin being a good friend, but it started getting weird. I texted her during the day and she'd say she was out for lunch with Jeff or running errands. They went to movies and concerts together, and I noticed little things that rubbed me the wrong way. She touched his arm when talking, and she would bring him up constantly. There were even little gifts he gave her. One day, while laying in bed, she turned to me and said she wanted a baby. I was shocked because we had agreed not to have more kids. The next day, I apologized and said I was game to make a baby. A week later, she handed me a box with a positive pregnancy test. I was stunned. I knew it couldn't have been mine, and I had a hunch the baby wasn't mine. As I watched them interact, I caught Jeff grazing her belly. Devin told me she was going to the doctor for her first exam, and I insisted on being there. At the appointment, the doctor said she was 12 weeks along, and I was floored. After the appointment, I realized I had to confront this. I packed Devin's things and locked Jeff out of the garage suite. When Devin came home, she was frantic, calling me crazy and denying everything. I told her the baby wasn't mine and that I knew about the affair. When Jeff showed up in a patrol car, he tried to convince me I was losing my mind. I said I'd believe it when I saw a paternity test. Devin later got the test, which confirmed the baby was indeed Jeff's. Now I'm getting divorced again, but I'm spending a lot of time with my kids and trying to be the best dad I can be. It feels like a harsh lesson in betrayal, but it's also a wake-up call. I thought I had it all figured out, but Devin and Jeff were busy playing house behind my back. At least I won't be raising a child that isn't mine. The classic tale of love, betrayal, and a vasectomy that became the ultimate truth serum. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Update 1. After the shocking paternity test results, I was left with a whirlwind of emotions. Relief washed over me when I confirmed that the baby wasn't mine, no unexpected fatherhood or raising a child that wasn't part of my life plan. But alongside that relief came a profound anger and heartbreak. I had trusted Devon, my partner and friend, only to discover she had been betraying me with my best friend. Devon moved out almost immediately after the confrontation. The silence in our home felt deafening. I was left with the remnants of our life together, the wedding photos, the little reminders of the future we had envisioned. Packing her things was an exercise in emotional endurance. I tried to stay focused, knowing I had to maintain a sense of normalcy for my kids. My children, now 7 and 9, were my priority. They had been through so much with their mother and my previous marriage. I made it a point to spend more time with them, to ensure they felt loved and secure during this chaotic transition. We began to establish new routines: game nights, movie marathons, and weekend outings to the park. I wanted them to feel safe. Trish, my ex-wife, she checked in on me almost daily, offering comfort and perspective. It was a bit surprising how easily we had fallen back into a friendship after everything we had been through. She reminded me that life is too short to hold on to bitterness. Her encouragement to focus on my kids helped me navigate my feelings of betrayal and heartbreak. I decided to seek counseling, not just for myself but for the kids too. I wanted them to have a safe space to talk about their feelings and any confusion they had about the changes in their family. The therapist was fantastic, guiding us through our emotions and helping us develop coping strategies. I learned the importance of communication, especially when it came to discussing sensitive topics. Meanwhile, Jeff's life took a turn after the fallout. I heard through mutual friends that he was struggling. His transfer to a small town was meant to be a fresh start, but it sounded more like a forced exile. I couldn't help but feel a sense of justice. I imagined him in a place where he knew no one, haunted by the choices he made. As the weeks turned into months, I realized how much I had changed through this experience. I was no longer just the person trying to please everyone. I was learning to stand up for myself and my needs. I began to explore new hobbies, something I hadn't done in years. I took up cooking and started experimenting with recipes that I could make with my kids. They loved helping out, and it became a fun bonding activity. I also started to date again, slowly and cautiously. I met a few women through mutual friends, but I wasn't in a rush. I wanted to ensure that any future relationship would be built on honesty and trust. I shared my story with potential partners, making it clear what I had just been through. I wanted someone who understood the importance of communication and respect. Devon, for her part, seemed to be trying to put her life back together as well. I saw her occasionally when she came to pick up the kids, and she always seemed on edge. The once carefree woman I had fallen in love with was now replaced by someone weighed down by regret and uncertainty. It was a strange feeling seeing her so different, but also understanding that she had made her choices. I didn't harbor resentment anymore, just a deep sadness for what could have been. Eventually, I came to terms with the fact that this experience, while painful, had ultimately taught me about resilience. I had survived betrayal and was emerging stronger. My kids and I were learning to thrive in our new reality. As I navigated this new chapter, I was determined to create a happy, loving environment for my children. I was committed to being the best father I could be and to show them that family could mean many things: support, love, and a shared journey, no matter how rocky it might get. In the end, life had thrown me curveballs, but I was ready to tackle whatever came next. With each passing day, I found healing and strength. Update 2. As the months rolled on, I found myself settling into a new routine that, while different, felt increasingly comfortable. The kids were adapting well, and I was proud of how resilient they were. We had our usual game nights and cooking sessions, but I also made an effort to introduce new experiences. We started a weekly movie night where we'd watch old classics, and I would let them pick the snacks, often leading to hilariously messy results. Trish continued to be a vital part of our lives. She came over often to help out and spend time with the kids, and her presence felt like a reassuring reminder that families can take many forms. We even had a few family dinners together where we'd laugh about the chaos of parenting and share stories from our past. It was a reminder of the bond we still had despite everything that had happened. I also dedicated time to self-reflection. Therapy had opened up new avenues for me, and I started journaling my thoughts and feelings. Writing became a powerful tool for processing the whirlwind of emotions I had experienced. I found clarity in my experiences, and it became a therapeutic outlet. I even considered starting a blog to share my journey. Maybe it could help someone else facing similar struggles. Dating had been slow, but I was becoming more comfortable with it. I went on a few casual outings, and while nothing serious developed, it was nice to meet new people and feel that spark of connection again. I made it a point to be upfront about my past, understanding that honesty was key. I met a wonderful woman named Sarah who shared my love for the outdoors. We bonded over hiking trips and weekend adventures, and it felt refreshing to share my life with someone who understood the importance of communication and trust. Meanwhile, the situation with Devon became more complex. She seemed to be grappling with her choices, and I noticed a change in her demeanor when we interacted. There was a mixture of guilt and sadness in her eyes, especially when it came to the kids. She would often express her desire to be more involved, but I was cautious. I wanted to protect my children from any emotional turmoil, and I knew that trust had to be rebuilt over time. One day she asked if we could sit down and talk about co-parenting. I agreed, hoping it would lead to a productive conversation. During our talk, she opened up about her regrets and the mistakes she made. It was a tough conversation, but I appreciated her honesty. I realized she was genuinely trying to make amends and was willing to put in the effort to be a better mother. Over time, we established a more structured co-parenting plan. Devon began taking the kids on weekends, and I made it a point to ensure they felt supported by both of us. I could see that her efforts were genuine, and while there would always be a part of me that struggled with the past, I could respect her attempts to move forward. As spring approached, we planned a family camping trip, something we used to do often before everything fell apart. This time it would be a blended experience with Trish joining us. The kids were excited, and so was I. I wanted to create new memories, reminding them that love and support could flourish despite the challenges we faced. On the trip, the atmosphere was light, filled with laughter and joy. For a moment it felt like we were simply a family enjoying time together, and I cherished that sense of connection. As I looked around the campfire, I realized that, while life had thrown unexpected challenges my way, I was learning to embrace the journey. I was stronger, wiser, and more attuned to what truly mattered: love, trust, and the unbreakable bond I shared with my children. With each passing day, I felt more hopeful about the future. I was ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing that I had the strength to face it all head on. Thanks for tuning in to today's Reddit story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on more amazing stories. See you next time.